The James Bond movies have always paid special attention to the auto industry, and each vehicle that has been included in them serves as an extension of his character's own unique sense of style. Bond is the type of person who will never ride about in anything less than the greatest, and he is particularly fond of his automobiles when they are modified for use in close quarters combat against cunning and lethal adversaries. Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are going to talk about the top 10 craziest cars driven by James Bond in movies. Before we get started with the video, don't forget to smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. Number 10. Lotus Esprit Turbo. In the original 1977 film, The Spy Who Loved Me, there was a Lotus Esprit that had the ability to morph into a submersible watercraft. However, the sequel would significantly tone down the comedic aspects of the franchise for a more serious take on the story. Once again, the Esprit made a comeback in the film in the shape of a turbo model and served as the automobile that James Bond drove for the majority of the movie. When a hoodlum makes an attempt to break into the first Esprit, the car immediately begins a sequence that ends with it self-destructing. The replacement model had a very different appearance than the original one, and it was used in the shots that were filmed in Cortina. The vehicle was successful in showcasing Lotus' one-of-a-kind method of automobile construction, which is still in use today. Number 9. Sunbeam Alpine. Although it pales in contrast to modern cars, the Sunbeam Alpine was nonetheless a beautiful car for its day. The Sunbeam Alpine was the car that started the tradition of luxury cars appearing in 007 movies. The producers claim that the vehicle that can be seen in the movie was a model that was borrowed from a local Jamaican citizen, because at the time of filming, the series had not yet established itself sufficiently for automobile manufacturers to pay attention. Bond drove the Series EU model of the Alpine, which had a 1.6-liter engine and was produced by the British firm Rootes Group. Just about 12,500 Alpines were produced by Rootes Group. It's interesting to note that the Alpine would eventually morph into the Sunbeam Tiger, which was the car that Maxwell Smart, a fumbling secret agent working in the 1960s, drove on the television show Get Smart. Number 8. Triumph Stag. Diamonds are forever featured in abundance of muscular muscle cars and sports tourers like the Triumph Stag. The film also featured V8 engines in a variety of other vehicles throughout the movie. In the movie, Bond kills the legendary diamond smuggler Peter Franks, who possessed the yellow-colored model of the Stag that is depicted in the movie. Bond then assumes the identity of Franks. Despite the fact that it was an attempt to create a presence in the very competitive car industry of the era, the Stag never received much love or sales during its run. It had a top speed of 120 miles per hour, developed a notional 147 horsepower, and was mated to either a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic transmission. Number 7. Toyota 2000 GT. Even though it was hilarious to watch Sean Connery, who is 6 feet and 1 inch tall, attempt to squeeze himself into a Japanese high-performance sports automobile, sales of the car did not drop as a result of the incident. The Toyota 2000 GT was a rear-wheel 4-speed gearbox racer that was only produced in an extremely restricted run of 351 units before being taken out of production. Although all of the production vehicles were coupe designs, 2 were created specifically for use in the film to accommodate Connery's outstanding physical size and allow him to sit comfortably in the vehicle during filming. It is most easily identified by its prominent dual headlights, which lend the automobile an oblong and menacing appearance at the front end. Number 6. Alfa Romeo Gross Transaction Value 6. The Alfa Romeo Gross Transaction Value 6 may look like just another fast hatchback by today's standards, but there's actually a lot more to the story than that. It was released at a time when Alfa Romeo was struggling with quality control concerns that affected a number of the cars in their lineup. These problems plagued the company for quite some time. The Gross Transaction Value 6 was developed with the goal of regaining respect for the firm, which was achieved with a significant victory in the South African Touring Car Championship. The vehicle included a suspension system that was taken directly from the Formula One racing track. Additionally, the vehicle featured a gearbox system that was based in the rear, giving it an extremely stable weight distribution. In order to get away from the local authorities and make his way to the U.S. Air Force Base in West Germany, James Bond takes this car from a woman who was driving it. Number 5. Aston Martin Vantage Volante. When Timothy Dalton took over the role of Seven in the Living Daylights, it was an opportunity to bring Aston Martin back into the fold. This came after years of seeing other car companies get the feature nod in the Bond films. Even though the DB5 from earlier Bond movies had been replaced by the Vantage, the spirit of the brand was still there. The Vantage had a very different appearance from the DB5. Everything else, on the other hand, was different. The Vantage was a high-tech killing machine that was equipped with a variety of lethal weapons, including missiles, lasers, and tire spikes. The genuine Vantage in its 508X form produced 437 horsepower, and a 6.3-liter variant increased that amount to 450. Number 4. Aston Martin Development Bank of Singapore Limited V12. In Casino Royale, Daniel Craig's first appearance as James Bond, the Development Bank of Singapore Limited V12 was shown as his signature vehicle. This was after the current automobile line from Aston Martin had already been created in the 2002 film Die Another Day. Was after the current automobile line from Aston Martin had already been created in the 2002 film Die Another Day. Although it did not have the optical camouflage technology of the previous film and did not have the destructive capability of the Vanquish, these are merely minor quibbles that can be ignored. The Development Bank of Singapore Limited V12 is renowned for the extraordinary quantity of cutting-edge technology that it incorporates into its design. Carbon fiber was used in the construction of a significant portion of the vehicle to cut down on overall weight, and an active damping system was installed to adjust the suspension to account for any and all possible driving conditions. It was one of the quickest cars in the 7 franchise thanks to its jaw-dropping 510 horsepower, which was generated by its 48-valve V12 engine. Number 3. BMW Z3. The Z3, a 2-seater sports convertible coupe that was only produced for a brief period of time, served as the wow car for James Bond's triumphant return to the big screen. It was only one ingredient out of many that contributed to GoldenEye becoming the best Brosnan Bond film. The vehicle's inline-4 engine types produced an embarrassing range of horsepower, 114 to 138, despite the fact that it was marketed as a performance vehicle. In succeeding years, the vehicle would experience major increases in horsepower, but it would eventually be replaced by the more robust Z4. However, the vehicle itself was a sumptuous marvel that looked excellent on screen. This was especially true given the fact that that particular model had been manufactured just for the film GoldenEye. In fact, the limited James Bond edition version of the automobile was available for purchase, and there were only 100 units available. As a result, it became one of the most popular cars during the Brosnan period of the Bond franchise. Number 2. Bentley Mark. Although 007 only used the stunning Bentley Mark to go on a picnic with a potential love interest, this was enough to establish the Mark as a favorite choice for James Bond's transportation. In homage to the Ian Fleming novels, in which James Bond expresses a preference for the 4.5-liter model of the Bentley automobile, the film's producers sought to feature the Mark in the movie. When filming began, the automobile itself was already over 30 years old, making it a pre-war beauty that has withstood the test of time due to its rugged good looks and robust yet exquisite styling. It may not have been able to launch rockets, but it was certain to attract people's attention nonetheless. It's a real shame that it didn't play a more significant role in the movie. Number 1. Ford Mustang Mach-1. One of the many exciting and well-done moments in Diamonds Are Forever is one in which James Bond and the local 5 are engaged in a high-speed pursuit through the streets of downtown Las Vegas. His choice of vehicle, the Mach-1, represented a considerable departure from the conventional design of the Mustang. It was a performance package that had the appearance of a fastback and highback bucket seats, and it came with an optional 429 CJR V8 engine. Due to a continuity error, the sequence is jokingly remembered for James Bond driving the Mach-1 into a tiny alleyway on 2 wheels, only to emerge from the other side of the alleyway on the opposite 2 wheels. This was the source of the humor. In spite of its comedic value, the vehicle itself was a sight to behold. That's a wrap on the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.